Well, hello there and welcome back to the Mugello circuit, Autodromo Internazionale del Mugello. It's MotoE time here. The fans are still in the hillsides, in the grandstand, overlooking what is certain to be another blockbuster appearance from the electric class. We've just had, what's the guy's name, Neil? We've just had DJing from the Energica Hospitality.
Bob Sinclair.
Bob Sinclair, no less, ringing out the tunes for people in this brief interlude before MotoE. Bob Sinclair, wow, what about it? My name's Matt Dunn. You just heard me introduce Neil Morrison here. And Fran Wild will be down on the grid. And this MotoE race is about one thing and one thing only: cheering up Neil Morrison after last night's defeat for Liverpool. Neil, I hope you're all right. But if he does need some cheering up from this outstanding entertainment, he needn't look no further, really, than what this man did yesterday in order to take that victory. But before, let's get in proper introducing the class and things like that. We'll head down to the grid, shall we? Fran Wild, how are you? Where are you? Are you with anybody?
Hello, I'm not yet with anybody. I'm just with the incredible party that's still going on. It's great to hear the music so loud around this track. Plenty of fans still in the stands. Granado just beat me to it. I think he went for a last-minute break. And yeah, lovely conditions today. A little bit less of that brutal heat from yesterday. Obviously, none of the rain tyre drama, so the stage is set.
Yeah, thanks, Fran. And, well, interesting to see what will happen here today, Matt. We had a stunning race yesterday, didn't we? It was like a Moto3 race, but with bigger, faster machines. It was quite awe-inspiring watching those guys fan out down at San Donato into turn one. And, well, I'm pretty sure we'll have something quite similar today.
Yeah, as you can tell, I loved every minute of it. It was one guy that came out on top, though. Dominique Aegerter took the victory by hundredths of a second, mere hundredths, and he's down on the grid with Fran Wild. Speak to us now.
He is indeed. As you said, it was hundredths, but it was that incredible move into San Donato that got the job done yesterday, Dommy. Today, no rain worries, no dramas. How are you feeling ahead of this one?
Yeah, for sure, less drama than yesterday. Yesterday, our warm-up lap we did with the rain tire. Now, a little bit more windy than the weekend. But yeah, looks sunny. The cloud is went away, so for sure. Now before the start is more calm, but for sure in a few minutes there will be more action.
Sounds like some fighting talk to do it again. What do you think your chances are? Good?
Yeah, all is good. I'm ready to fight and yeah, try to make a clean race and fight for the victory.
Thanks for talking to us. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Dominique Aegerter, lots of fighting talk as well in Parc Ferme yesterday. He was hoping he got everybody's heart rates elevated. He certainly did. What a move that was down to San Donato yesterday, Neil, to take that victory.
Yeah, it was a move fitting to win any race, you have to say, from Dominique Aegerter. As well, Fran reported, obviously perfect conditions out there, a little bit cooler than we've had during the rest of the weekend. But we saw everyone slightly cautious on the first lap, understandably, yesterday with some of the rain that had been falling throughout the afternoon, and that caused everyone to just bunch up together. We won't have those conditions today, obviously. And, you know, if Aegerter can get out front early doors, he can put down some pretty fearsome pace, I feel.
Yeah, of course. And those of you who joined us yesterday for race one of the weekend would have seen it was Aegerter, Ferrari and Andrea Mantovani, this rider here on our screens yesterday. But a bit of post-race drama, wasn't there, Neil?
There was a bit of drama, yeah. He crossed the line in third, but he was later disqualified, unfortunately, for a technical infringement. His pressure in his tyre was deemed to be lower the minimum requirements. So really a great shame for Mantovani to be disqualified, because he had been so impressive in yesterday's race.
Definitely one of the cooler looking customers, isn't he, in Grand Prix racing. The thing is, he's got the photos of him stood on the podium at Mugello at the Italian Grand Prix, then that's one of the main things. So let's pass back down to the grid, shall we? Fran Wild has caught none other than Matteo Ferrari, yesterday's second place finisher.
I have indeed. So Matteo, yesterday, great day for you, second place, really close to that win as well, fighting it out. What are you expecting from today?
Yeah, I saw the race of yesterday. I know where I have to improve, so I want to start like yesterday in the first group. Then I want to push and I try to win this race.
You said earlier on in the NO VIP area that you'd been studying what Dominic did yesterday. Are you ready for this one then?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Best of luck.
Yeah, fighting talk, you would have to say, from Matteo Ferrari right there. Second yesterday in the fight right the way through that race. Surely he'll be up there fighting at the front once again. He'll be coming from the middle of the second row, 5th on the grid.
10 minutes was the total race time yesterday, because we had a shortened race due to the conditions. They were split by 0.033 at the line, Matteo Ferrari and Dominique Aegerter. Dominique Aegerter even managed to sort of overcome was seemingly a bent brake lever as well after contact earlier on. Eric Granado, I know, lost his front mudguard as well, which had an impact on aero down the front straightaway here that we're looking at. He actually, of course, came away with P3. He said actually there was a slight engine issue for him back in Le Mans, which is the reason why he was off the boil a little bit. Of course, he had those 2 wins in Jerez, so it was nice to see him back on the podium yesterday. This is the front row then. So it's Casadei we're looking at there, with Zanoni in the middle and then Dominique Aegerter. 2 Italians on the front row alongside a Swiss rider. Zanoni finished up in 8th, and we had Casadei in 4th yesterday. Will they go one better today? It's nearly time to go racing. Three minutes to go then. This is your grid for MotoE Race 2 here at Mugello. Aegerter, Zanoni and Casadei are your front row, from Granado, Ferrari and Kevin Manfredi there, the number 34 on the outside of it in 6th. Canepa, Mantovani and Pons are row 3, with Alcoba, Akubo and Garzo row 4. Looking back to row 5, we have Alessio Finello, another Italian. Massimo Roccoli continues to replace Jordi Torres, who's out injured. Xavi Flores 15th on the grid. Maria Herrera and Alex Escridge bringing up the rear. 17 riders competing here. It's Xavi Cardaluz. His crash with Roccoli in Q1 put him out of action yesterday. Wishing him very well. And of course, Jordi Torres and Bradley Smith continue to be classed as unfit due to their injuries sustained in previous events. We wish them very well. Hope to see them back soon. Dominique Aegerter looks on, and the tension builds. Adrenaline starts flowing through the veins as we get ready to send all these MotoE bikes down towards San Donato for the first time today.
Yeah, we saw some really stunning action, obviously, in the 3 Grand Prix races we've had previously, particularly in MotoGP and Moto3. Don't be surprised if the scenes at the start of this race are somewhat similar, with bikes all packed together down this 1.1 kilometre front straight. And the scenes of them fanning out in the braking zone for San Donato really is quite something. You can see there Matteo Casadei pumping himself up ahead of the start, getting himself into the zone. Well, a good start for him will be absolutely crucial from the outside of the front row.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, Neil. It's I'm very, very excited for this, but I have absolutely no idea what's about to happen. Let's take a quick look at the championship classification, though. Not going to be on the screens. I'll run down it for you. Dominique Aegerter leads the way with 103 points to his name. Eric Granado, 86 points to his name. Matteo Casadei, 74. Ferrari, 68. And Pons, 53. And Akubo, 52. Realistically, at the moment, it's around about a 3 or 4 horse race at a push. The standing, should nothing dramatic happen, 17 points of the gap that separates Granado and Aegerter. This could be a pivotal moment in the 2022 World Cup standings after this race. No warm-up lap, so it will just be red flag at the front of the grid, the green white flag waving at the back, lights come on and they go off, and we burst into life once again. Hold on to your seats, ladies and gentlemen, because some of the best action in motorcycle sport is about to unfold in front of your very eyes as the man at the front of the grid departs. The lights will come on and MotoE will be go once again. Who will get the whole shot into San Donato? Here we go! MotoE at Mugello once again, and it's Zanoni who carves across the front of Dominique Aegerter. A superb start from the local rider, and he leads the charge down towards San Donato. Who will be last in the late breakers? Will it be Dominique Aegerter? He cuts an inside line, but it's Zanoni who leads the way through turn 1 with that whole shot, all cleanly through. Very easy done. Oh, we have a rider down to the back there. Casadei. It's Casadei. Casadei's gone. He's not been clipped by anybody, but that's his race over. Disaster. Mantovani nearly had a moment there, but he keeps it upright. Disaster for Casadei. That could have big standings classifications.
Yeah. Disastrous start for Casadei. Great start for Matteo Ferrari, who went around the outside into San Donato at turn 1. And Kevin Manfredi's had a good jump as well from 6th on the grid. He is now 4th, but how about that from Matteo Casadei? He's been almost flawless so far this season, and he'll be leaving his home Grand Prix with a lot of work to do.
I should of course have said implications, because that's what it really will have from Casadei crashing out there. Currently third in the standings, but not anymore after this race, potentially so. Zanoni leading the way through Arrabbiata 1, Arrabbiata 2. The fans are still in the stands, are flocking the hillsides, covering them, cheering their riders on as Ferrari, the other Italian, he sandwiches Aegerter, but not for long. He takes a peek up the inside, but Aegerter superior on the brakes there.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been a great first half lap for Mikel Pons, who's jumped up the order from 9th on the grid. He was quite subdued yesterday and in qualifying, but he sat there in 5th ahead of Eric Granado, who hasn't really managed to start well in any race so far that we've had this year. And well, Granado has it all to do, especially with championship challenger Aegerter 4 places ahead.
Cracking start from the number 34.
Oh,
Kevin Manfredi, someone else has got him down in the background. That's a disaster for them. Real shame. Seeing the crash out. No, Mantovani's right there in front of us. We're looking at Garzo there. Somebody else, though, is down in the background at the end of this lap. And look at that. Pons moves his way up the inside of the number 34. Kevin Manfredi, the flying mustache, I'll nickname him for the sake of this race here at Mugello. Akubo, he went down. Disaster for him. That's a shame. Across the line they come. It's Zanoni from Ferrari. Aegerter. Pons pulls alongside. Then you've got Manfredi behind them. Who will be first, second or third in the jump to turn 1?
Oh, look at Canepa coming up the inside of Aegerter. Aegerter crossed the line in third. He's going to be pushed all the way back down to, well, I don't know, 5th, 6th position. It is all action into San Donato, and that is Akubo, who had a nasty high side there, coming out of Corantaio, pitching into the Biondetti chicane. But once again, we have Kevin Zanoni out front. Close action right the way down the field. Just 10 riders here making up the lead group.
One of the major casualties of the slipstream last time around was Manfredi, the flying mustache. He was certainly not, as Aegerter also gets pushed further back by Granado there then. So he's now in 7th position, is yesterday's race winner. Goodness me, how things can change over a few corners.
Yeah, it looked like a good start for Aegerter. He was sitting second. He hasn't started races that well recently, but getting shuffled all the way back down to 7th. He now has a massive job in his hands to get towards the front. Matteo Ferrari, though, is looking very, very ominous, I would say, so far.
Yeah, keep your eye on Eric Granado as well, buoyed by his 3rd podium of the season yesterday, brought on after the fact of the race finishing, as well as Ferrari takes another look up the inside of Zanoni, but he's able to keep that position in 1st spot. This is great from the young Italian.
It really is, yeah, and we haven't mentioned him yet, but Marc Alcoba sits in 4th. He's been a bit of a surprise package so far this weekend. He had a great 5th place in yesterday's race, and he's already climbed up the order from 10th on the grid to sit 4th. So, fantastic start to the Grand Prix for the Spaniard.
Yeah, he came through Q1 as well, didn't he, in qualifying, so he has been improving lap by lap here at Mugello. Of course, it's the first time that MotoE has ever visited here, so some of the riders are complete rookies to Mugello altogether, as Alcoba looks up the inside, very briefly, up the inside of fellow countryman Mikel Pons.
Well, Kevin Zanoni did show us at Le Mans that he has no trouble running at the front of these MotoE races. He really has been a different figure since the French Grand Prix 2 weeks ago, hasn't he? The number 21 riding for the 658 Squadra Corsa team. Can he keep the lead going into San Donato? You do feel that Ferrari is going to have at least a sniff, and there goes the number 11 into the lead.
Wow, he very neatly outbrakes him. You can tell they're pretty well on the limit of braking there as Pons tries. Alcoba around the outside, who has moved up into 3rd as well then. So we have Ferrari, the original World Cup overall winner, at 1st position here at Mugello. Brilliant stuff as Granado moves up on Aegerter.
Yeah, Aegerter had taken 6th place from Granado, I think, down into turn 1, but Granado wasted no time in responding into turn 2, so the Brazilian getting his elbows out early doors here.
Well, it's just classic pack racing, isn't it, from MotoE? Just absolutely love it, don't you? And Alcoba defending his line there pretty well from Mikel Pons. Shout out to Nicolo Canepa, the 3rd Italian, sorry, I should say, in this leading group then. The number 7 looking very strong indeed. He was one of the riders who really pushed Aegerter far out wide and down the order. He's now looking for a way through on Mikel Pons.
And you can see Matteo Ferrari already had a track limits warning early on here, and Marc Alcoba's looking underneath Kevin Zanoni to go 2nd. You do feel that if Ferrari can keep another couple of clean corners here, he might well be able to build enough of a gap onto the front straight where the others aren't able to slipstream by.
How things change in merely 24 hours, Neil. Aegerter really struggling to make his way back through on Granado. He's got Mantovani nipping at his heels as well. Garzo and Manfredi just off the back of the lead group. group now. Will they be able to catch up as the race goes on? As they cross the line next time around, this time around even, be 3 laps to go. Halfway through this sprint race as Aegerter moves up the inside of Granado once again. They just don't seem to have the same speed at the moment here in Mugello that they had yesterday. Not the same class and dominance. Everybody else has taken that necessary step up.
Yeah, absolutely. Although Aegerter, in Le Mans at least, did take a couple of laps to get up to top speed. His rhythm towards the end of the race was pretty much unparalleled as we see them all fanning out, coming down towards turn 1. Zanoni goes back into the front. Marc Alcoba is looking pretty good, but what about Matteo Pons going into third?
Wowee, that was a great stuff from Pons and Canepa there. And Ferrari defends his line superbly well from Zanoni once again. He doesn't want to give it up easy, does Zanoni. He wants that first MotoE podium. He wants that first MotoE win. Ferrari, a seasoned character in this game here now.
Yeah, how about this? A lead group of 8, or maybe Mantovani is just getting dropped at the back of this group. A lead group of 7 at least. Yeah, Mantovani is there. Let's say it's 8. I mean, this is fast and frenetic stuff here at Mugello, and it's by no means over yet, I think, for Aegerter and Granado. Let's see if they can make an impression on the guys ahead. Marc Alcoba looking very, very good down through the Casanova Savelli complex. Hector Garzo, the latest man to be given the track limits warning.
It's just substantially less chaotic, this race, isn't it, Neil? I mean, a well-deserved break for you and I, because we barely caught our breaths after yesterday's race. I'm sure many online will attest to as well, but still great action nonetheless in MotoE once again. Pons and Canepa both take a look up the inside line on Zanoni, but think better of it down into that part of the track.
Yeah, you can see just how strong Matteo Ferrari is in the second sector of this track. He eked out a 1/10 of a second on Zanoni in that split, and I think he's maybe eked out another one in the third split as we come around Correntao to complete the third sector on lap number 4 of this 6-lap race.
Be heading into the penultimate lap next time around, and we're just not seeing the progress that you might expect from the likes of Granado and Aegerter here in 6th and 7th place. These are the guys that have positions 1 and 2 in the standings at the moment. If they're not careful, this is playing right into the hands of Matteo Ferrari down in 4th place in the standings. 68 points he has to his name, but 25 on from that. Well, what damage will he do to Dominique Aegerter's and Granado's leads out the front?
Has been really strong on the brakes, and you can see just goes to the edge of the track there to try and get to the inside of Marc Alcoba. Watch out for the number 7, although Alcoba is a demon on the brakes. It must be said, Aegerter is making some moves into turn 1 underneath Granado.
Tell you what, seeing them all break into San Donato is a heck of a sight, isn't it? Goodness me, just so many of them all in a line. Just a beautiful, flowing, Energica Ego Corsa train here. A high-speed freight train. It might be the high-speed rail network from Spain or Japan, whatever. It's so quick. It's just awesome to watch.
And you can see Granado and Aegerter really fighting among themselves. They haven't really made any moves on the rider's head. Is Granado going to do a 2-1 through well, turns 4 and 5? They're not quite. He does manage to get ahead of Aegerter. They're having their own little inter-championship fight there in 6th and 7th, but that is giving some breathing space to Canepa just ahead.
It's so fast and flowing. I feel a few riders are really struggling to match the pace of the riders ahead of them and go even further and actually make a move up the inside. What the lap times are doing, not paid attention to that yet. 1:59s at the moment from all these guys. Mid 1:59s is the pace of this leading group. In qualifying, they were setting low to mid 1:59s as well. So this is qualifying pace, lap after lap in race 2 as Pons finds a way through on Zanoni.
Yeah, good stuff there from Pons, and you can see that move has given Ferrari once again just a little bit of an edge as we come towards Correntao for the penultimate time. I think that's around 0.3 of a second advantage, but Ferrari is just doing enough, man, through the twisty bits to build up enough of a lead so that no one is able to get close enough to break or outbreak him as we get to turn 1.
Yeah, that's a completely great point, Neil, and crucially as well when it comes to the final lap. This time, next lap around, well, will they be able to out-drag him to the line? Perhaps not with half a second in hand there. Marc Alcoba makes his way through Zanoni as well, and that could play into the hands of Granado now, who goes up the inside of him too. He pushes him out wide, moves into P4, does the Brazilian. Zanoni punted down the order, and he's got Aegerter, Mantovani and Canepa for company 2. Last lap time here in MotoE at Mugello, and it's neck and neck, fast and fanned out down in towards San Donato once again, and Canepa looking right up the inside of plenty of riders. They just about keep it upright. It's all action. It's gone off here at turn 1.
It really has. Yeah, you would say Ferrari might have just done enough to get himself first victory of the season. Oh, and that's Mantovani on
Wow,
Granado. Wow,
he
on
really
turn 3.
gives Granado a little bit of a kiss there, doesn't he?
Yeah, and Aegerter has done a fantastic job to get up from 7th, where he was last lap, up into 4th now, and basically that pesky Granado has now been shaken off and behind him.
Yeah, he's been properly beaten up on this final lap, hasn't he? Got to be wary of track limits, gentlemen out there in the front group, because if you go over them on this final lap, you will be impeded and punted down a couple of paces. So here we are then. Ferrari, has he eked out just enough of a gap? Pons very much under the threat from countryman Alcoba. Aegerter still on the move though, and we got a track limits warning for Zanoni as well.
Yeah, I think Zanoni's going to have to start defending here, because Marc Alcoba and Aegerter are looking really, really ominous, just behind down into Scarperia. Sorry, it's Michael Pons in second, not Zanoni. But Pons doing a good job there defending that second place.
Eric Granado's moved up on Mantovani into 6th place then, so final sector time we come. It looks like it's Ferraris to lose, but who will gain 2nd place as they come across the line? Still time for Aegerter to pull a move on both of them. What about Canepa? He could be in prime position for the slipstream onto the run to the line. Here we go then, Biondetti 1 and 2 out of the way, into the final corner we come. It's Ferraris to lose. He's surely going to take the victory, and Aegerter looks up the inside of Alcoba. He nudges him wide. Supremely done, but will he sacrifice his drive? It's the run to the line time. Tuck it in for all you've got, Tommy. You've got the standings lead at the moment. Will it be extended? It's Ferrari who takes the victory here in Mugello. Aegerter, will it be second? It's not. Alcoba, Aegerter does get it. Goodness me, what a ride that was. Alcoba gets his first podium, Pons 4th, and Canepa 5th.
Oh, brilliant stuff there from Matteo Ferrari. You just felt when he was speaking to Fran Wild down on the grid that he absolutely knew what he had to do to win today's race. And a first victory of the season for the 2019 champ. How about that in front of his home fans? Always has a great record when we go to Misano, doesn't he, Matt? And now he's managed to do it on our first trip to Mugello with this MotoE category.
Oh, that was absolutely fantastic, that was. Ferrari went out, he came, he saw, he conquered. Veni Vidi Vici here for Ferrari at Mugello. Two names very much synonymous with each other. That will mean so much in front of the home fans. What a recovery from Aegerter as well, though. Another podium, yet another podium in various World Cup and World Championship competition this year. Pons are just off it in 4th, and Alcoba, we did see it coming, I suppose.
We did, yeah. I mean, he did show some potential in yesterday's race, but what a fantastic start Marc Alcoba made, and then he made some really good ground towards the end of that race as well, in that tight fight with Mikel Pons. And, well, that's Massimo Roccoli standing in for Jordi Torres, congratulating Matteo Ferrari, who takes in the adulation of the home fans that have stayed around for another really entertaining MotoE race, you have to say. Aegerter, Matt, he made the absolute best out of a really bad situation, didn't he? He was 7th at one point on the penultimate lap, and he manages to come home 2nd. I mean, that's a great late charge.
Neil, breaking news. A video finish gives a tie for 2nd place. So Aegerter has got 2nd place, but so has Marc Alcoba. Wowee, when was the last time we saw that at a Grand Prix event?
Oh, goodness me. I mean, well, it says on our timing screens there's 1/1000th of a second difference, but perhaps we're going to have to go to a video finish just to see what's happened.
I can add the last time it happened in a Road to MotoGP programme, which was literally last time out of the British Talent Cup, we had 2 winners.
Yeah, quite right. Yeah, exactly. That was quite fresh in the memory from the MotoGP family, I suppose you could say. So that graph is going to have to change on your screens there, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, wait, no. So it's now been changed to 2nd position, ranked in order of the best lap time. So that would be Dominique Aegerter,
because he set the fastest lap of the race on the final lap.
There we go then, so that's not going to have to change. That's it, Aegerter does confirm 2nd place and Alcoba 3rd place then. So the only difference is Alcoba gets 4 less points than perhaps he would have.
And there's been a revision to our timing screens. There was 1/1000th of a difference between Aegerter and Alcoba just a couple of moments ago, and now it's giving them the exact same finish time. Just, 0.529 seconds back off the winner.
Oh, I really enjoyed that, Neil. That was sensational. MotoE at its best. Less chaotic than yesterday. A bit of a burnout from Marc Alcoba as well, as he gives the... Why has he got the flower necklace? I'm sick of all these riders doing these jokes like with their podium finishes and stuff that I don't get. Canette's bow tie, Alcoba's flower necklace. Anyway, it's nice.
Yeah, we didn't see too much from Marc Alcoba in the first 2 rounds of the season to suggest he would be up there on the podium this weekend. 9th and a DNF at Jerez, then a DNF and a 9th in France. And he comes away from Mugello with a 5th and a 3rd, so that is quite a considerable improvement for the Spaniard this weekend. He did have a number of top 10 finishes in the World Supersport Championship last year, finished 16th overall in that series, but he's found a bit of a new lease of life in the Open Bank Aspar team in this MotoE World Cup.
Well, how much did that mean to Ferrari? He's ditched his gloves, gave them to the fans. He's got the Tricolore Italian flag around his shoulders too. That will mean so much to him, really will. We'll probably see quite an emotional Matteo Ferrari in Parc Ferme with Fran later on. Michele Pirro is good, mate, who he was on I think he technically joined Michele Pirro on his honeymoon in the off-season, actually. The lads went out and joined Michele and his new wife in the Maldives. Very nice indeed. I hope it was all on Michele's wallet. Expensive, the Maldives. But here he is.
Ferrari will be able to pay him back for that with the bonus that he's got from this weekend.
Exactly. Brilliant stuff for Ferrari then. Here we go. Team hugs time.
Yeah, that's his 6th win of his career in this MotoE category. Never quite managed to look entirely comfortable as one of the leading names in last year's series. Never really had an ideal base setting or feeling with his bike. But we saw from the first race of 2022 that Ferrari is back to his old ways again this year. That is what his already his 3rd podium finish of the year.
Well then, how important is that for Ferrari? There we go, the championship classification has changed now, and it's 2 points separating Ferrari and Granado for 2nd. Aegerter, though, 123 points. So the chase is on. Cassidy moves down a place to 4th as well. Then we'll do a full review of it later on in the show. Photo time for the Grassini squad. A little bit more of a subdued Dominique Aegerter there then, isn't there? In 2nd position as he comes into Parc Ferme. Marc Alcoba goes round to congratulate his fellow rivals as well. And the winner as well, of course. Go on, Neil, it's been a heck of a debut for Mugello in the MotoE World Cup calendar, hasn't it?
It really has, yeah. It doesn't disappoint, does it, in any category that we have. And that long old front straight, I mean, that just gives us so many opportunities to slipstream and then overtake at the end of that straight. 2 great races again, and a great race from this band. Marc Alcoba on the podium in MotoE for the very first time, and I think we can pass it on to Fran, who's with him in Parc Ferme.
So I was just telling you, Mark, exactly the same race time in the end as Domi, but he just set that fastest lap. But congratulations, first MotoE podium. It's been a really great weekend for you, a big step forward. How does it feel?
Wow, it was an incredible race. In the beginning, I think, today was a good day and will be a good race. Very difficult in the start of this championship. This bike, it's so different. But now in Mugello in Italy was perfect, and I feel super good since the first FP. And yeah, this win is for all the team. We work a lot, difficult, but we have the results now, and yeah, I think in the next race.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Great stuff from Marc Alcoba. That one really means a lot. Always special to have your first podium at a Grand Prix event, isn't it? The Michelin cap and in front of, on the same circuit as big MotoGP class as well. Well and truly part of the family too. Here we go then. That was that move from Alcoba up into 3rd, fending off Zanoni.
Yeah, and you can see Zanoni having a bit of a bobble there through Baccini, and that caused, I think, Nicolo Canepa to lift as well. And of course, when you have to close the throttle ever so slightly, lift, you lose so much momentum down that straight, and that really cost Zanoni and Canepa going into the final lap. But Dominique Aegerter managed to salvage a podium after spending a lot of the race down in 7th. Another podium finish for the championship leader, and he's down in Parc Fermé with Fran.
Well, Dommy, that was a pretty brutal race. At times you were down in 6th, 7th, but you managed to come back, get on the podium, take that second. As I said, exactly the same race time as Marc as well. You must be happy with that second place after a really hard-fought race.
Yeah, was a big battle. I tried my best, but I overtake always Eric, and he overtake me somewhere back, and we lost a little bit the front group. But I know the second last lap I need to attack, I need to be on the podium, and yeah, I had the perfect last lap. Big thanks to the intact Dynavolt MotoE team. They make again a good setting for my bike. The bike itself doesn't feel so fast today, I don't know why. And one other thing was in the first lap, there was a yellow flag, so I didn't overtake, but some other riders overtake me, so this was a little bit strange. There I lose some places, but yeah, in the end 20 points. It's very good for the championship, and now I'm looking forward for 1 weekend free next weekend, and then Misano for Supersport, and I think in Assen we will be back for MotoE. And yeah, thanks for all the Italian fans. Grazie. Ciao.
Thanks, Tommy. Auguri.
Yeah, thank you, Fran. As she rightly said, I mean, it was a brutal race. Dominique Aegerter properly got buffed around by quite a few people at many given points, and particularly Eric Granado.
Yeah, absolutely. And poor old Mikel Pons, there it was, photo finish for second place, the exact same race time between Alcoba, and there you have it there. I mean, there is absolutely nothing to choose between that. Dead even, you would have to say.
Yeah, absolutely, dead even. So then, brilliant stuff from them. We just lost our pictures for the moment. We can't actually see what's going on. If Neil, you'd like to go and ask the technicians that we don't actually commentate on the MotoGP press conference. So, are we going to hear from Matteo Ferrari? Fran, just take it away.
Okay, yes, we will hear from Matteo Ferrari. Well, we're going to hear the Italian national anthem once again here at Mugello today. Congratulations, Matteo. You've known home turf glory at Misano. Now you've done it at Mugello. An almost perfect last couple of laps there for you.
Yeah, I'm really happy because this is my 11th podium, like my number, so really special. Also, winning Mugello is incredible in front of these fans. Yeah, I changed the strategy from yesterday. I pushed a little bit more in the first part of the race. I was really confident with the bike, and I think we did another step. So really happy about that. And yeah, when I saw that I have a little gap, I said, okay, I have continued to push because today there was a lot of wind, so really difficult to manage the bike, but really happy about this podium and this first victory of this year.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Ciao, gas.
Awesome to hear from Matteo Ferrari. Thank you very much, Fran, for that. Excellent stuff from the Italian to take that victory on home. So we'll have actually got our images back now, thankfully. We like watching the podium ceremony and the MotoE guys crack on. There's no need to watch the press conference for now, thanks. 11 podiums for the number 11 then, Neil, eh? Brilliant stuff. What's he writing on there as well? Alu. I guess Alu is like Italian for woohoo or something like that, without meaning to offend anybody, of course. Ferrari, what a ride that was. This was technically his race-winning overtake then, up the inside of Zanoni into San Donato. I mean, a more iconic place to do it, perhaps, not really. And look at that with the slow-mo of Mugello circuit there as they send it round. Brilliant stuff, and this was the moment that he took victory here at the Italian circuit on home soil. Ferrari's home track, literally. Brilliant. What a cracking race. What a great weekend it's been, Neil, as well in general. Of course, wishing our very best to the likes of Casadei and Akubo. Kubo being stretchered off after his accident, though rider conscious, of course. Helped away. Haven't got on our screens that he was taking the medical centre for a checkup, but
yeah, absolutely. And you'd have to say Aegerter maybe had the feeling that he could have won that race, but it's been such a good day for his championship challenge, because Granado finished on in 7th, of course. Casadei crashed out, and Jordi Torres obviously couldn't make the race start in either affair today after being passed unfit on Thursday. So yeah, Aegerter going away for this little mini break that we have between races ahead of Assen in what, 3 weeks time, with well, a much improved championship lead. I think he now has 28 points in hand over Granado.
4 weeks time actually, Neil. Just a month exactly, pretty much. So yeah, it's I suppose for some riders a little bit of a welcome break to go and do their other things, and to just reflect on what has been a blisteringly fierce opening few races. Marc Alcoba's not used to this on a Grand Prix podium, is he? Has to run out onto the podium with his lid. But this would be a very special moment indeed. Ferrari going out onto the podium at Mugello. He's already done it in Misano a few times, but Mugello might be even more special for the lad here. Here he goes.
Well, that team has got rather used to that winning feeling in different Grand Prix categories so far this year, hasn't it, with the feats of Finea Mastinini in MotoGP. As Mr. Robin Mackie will present the trophy to Marc Alcoba for 3rd place in today's race. Fine performance from the Spaniard. On the basis of what we've seen so far this weekend, Matt, that could be the first of many.
Yeah, it could well be, Neil, actually. A timely performance from him, good performance, and exciting to see what he can go on to do. The mayor of Scarpiero San Piero, Scarperia San Piero, just literally turned right out the circuit, about 200 metres up the road. There it is where Scarperia is at.
Yeah, Dominique Aegerter on the podium once again. That's his 5th podium from 6 races so far this year. And Federico Caleno then, the head of e-mobility for Italy and Enel, presents the winner's trophy to Matteo Ferrari. On the top step of the podium for the first time in 2022. And with his performances this weekend, Matt, he is right back in the title hunt as well.
Time for the Italian national anthem. Tanto emozioni, ragazzi. Very, very nice indeed for Matteo Ferrari. And he's first on the Prosecco as well, making sure his competitors are suitably drenched. That's it for MotoE in Mugello then. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. We'll be getting a look at the final results in a minute then. Well, we'll see, of course, the podium places separated by nothing, and also half a second, of course. Drink it in, Matteo. He will really, really relish that.